recognition. The main reason is that it's not only open source and free community and large community, but the main thing is that fewer number of lines. If you write a program typically in C, C++ or Java, you need to say you need to write some 100 lines. With just 10 lines or even 5 lines also you can write a Python program. Someone is saying about communicating from one device to another device. I can show you one thing that even in one line we can communicate with another device. So that's the maturity that we got in Python. Then how is it possible, Uday means? So based upon the philosophies, so they tells that try to make the simplest way. Simple is better than complex. And one more important thing is try to reuse the existing things. So for all the communications and cloud computing, for everything, already someone has done something. Instead of you reinventing the wheel, use the existing things. So existing libraries, we say. Python heavily relies on these libraries. So these libraries are called as modules in Python. So we rely heavily on them. So very first thing is Python is a free and it's object-oriented programming language. So the moment I told object-oriented, the newbies who are firstly into programming right now, like admins and someone else, may feel somewhat complicated, but it's nothing to do with that. In a Python, simply you can write even without even any classes also. So let me show you something. Let's say this is my Python shell. I will slowly introduce what is this shell and how things goes on. Basically, Python, if you want to execute, you will execute like this. Let's say if I want to say like do some calculation, I can say number 1 is equal to 123, number 2 equal to 345. If I want addition of them, I can say sum 1 equal to number 1 plus number 2. That's it. Summation was done, and if you see, you will get it. If you want to print it, you can say that sum 1 is equal to sum 1. That's it. So I don't. It is an object-oriented programming language. Everything is an object here. But did you see any sort of classes or something else? No, right? So this is called as aspect-oriented programming styles. We say means you didn't even use a single function. Also, you didn't even use a single class. Also, but even then you can write your program. That's what makes interesting for a beginner. So I personally say that many people nowadays are converting from admins to these developers. So with the help of Python itself. So Python is that easy to learn. And moving ahead, so the one more advantage is portability. See, C, C++ are the world's best languages in terms of their speed. But even then, Java ruled the last decade. The only reason for that is that platform independency. A typical Java program can execute the same way in both Windows and Linux and Mac and everywhere. That's the only reason people have gone for Java. So, but Java is really painful with a large amount of code that we need to write. So now Python is doing the same job. That too with fewer number of lines. Our code will work the same way in Windows and Linux and everywhere. So this is the advantage, right? And maybe so admins don't know, but developers know much about this memory management. It's really heck. So if you go for C or C++ or Java, we need to use malloc, calloc, a lot of things should be done for memory managements. And real is to say, in Python we need not bother about them. Until unless you are really interested, you need not bother about them. I didn't initialize it to an integer or float or something else, right? But even then, all the executions were done. Let's see for the same number 1. Let's say number 1 equal to, if I say Python, it has taken. Previously it has taken as number, now it has taken a string. There is a small thing called as there are built-in functions in Python. There are 64 built-in functions in Python. Without even you are importing any library called as modules, we can use it directly. If I say type of number one, it says it's of string data type. You need not bother about creating whatever you want. You just assign the things, it will automatically convert. Let's say if I say number one is equal to, so minus 1 point so and so, some number I have given. If I ask the same type of number one, you can see it is a float. Means the same variable is changing based upon the value that you give. So this is the advantage, right? Next, a third party utility support. So someone is saying about AWS cloud, someone is LLC saying about web development. For everything, so modules were there, we will slowly see. So next, if you see further advantages of the Python, as I told you all the things as already, dynamic typing means the same thing. You need not bother about the data types. You just write the way, assign the variables, that's it. It will do in the backend. And don't you think it's an easy syntax? And the so most interesting part is embeddable. You have existing code in Java. From now you can write in Python. If you have existing code in C language till now, from now you can write in Python and you can integrate. So means our language can communicate with another language very simply. So that's the ease that you are getting. And interactive programming. So you can see, right? So generally you can write a program like this, or else you can write in a simple script also. So in real time, generally we write in a script only, right? This is a new file if you open. So it doesn't mean that you should open a file here only and you want to write. You can even write in Notepad also if you are really perfect enough. So the same thing, let's say any language will start with a hello world, right? If I say hello world, just I need to save it as somewhere. So let me save it as sample file.py. Sample file.py. I just created one file. Just I need to run it, that's it. The moment I ran, did you notice the hello world here? The same old calculations which I had done previously, I will do here itself. Number one is something, number two is something else. So now I can say sum1 equal to number one plus number two. Print sum1 equal to, if you now save and execute it, save, as it's a demo class, I'm showing all things without any shortcuts. So sum1 equal to so and so, means the same content whatever you have done, the same thing you are getting, right? Based upon the values that you give, corresponding things happens. Means either programming can be done like this individually line by line, or else together in a script. When you are delivering something in a product, or else you are doing some DevOps, or else someone is doing a web application, all the way you will write on a script only. If you want to individually check a single line or something else, you can go into the interactive mode. This is called as interactive mode, and this is called as the script mode. And don't worry, someone says about scripting language, programming language, and so and so. I'll explain you what exactly is the difference between these two in the first class when we are starting. It's no big deal. You can learn it fastly. And the most advantageous part is this thing: 50% less code. This is an average figure, okay? At times it is even less than that. I told you that. If the sum of code is less, obviously 300% more productivity. If it is 50%. Why? Because the lesser number of code lines, lesser number of bugs, lesser number of testing, obviously all the software development lifecycle will be reducing, right? So this is more suitable for this today's agile environment. And compared to the popularity these days, it is trending a lot, man. So really a beginner can start his career in this. So if you see 2016 last statistics, by end of 2017 you will get these statistics for 17 also. And if you see 16 statistics, So this is a code env, so I got from the site itself. So they are clearly saying that, so Python is having 26.7%. See what is Java right now. Slowly Java will diminish. So see, the people who learned Java in the last decade really ruled the software market. And the same thing happens even for Python also. In the next 10 years, surely you need not think back again. You will not regret learning Python. Not if not from me, someone else, but learn Python. I'm surely say that you will be in the next 10 years. So, and if you see the popularity of the scripting language individually, if someone is an admin side, they know better about it. So be it PHP, Perl, or Python, if you see, so Python is increasing its demand a lot. So I say that this is the right time. So and if you see further, so if you go, this is IEEE Spectrum rankings, we say. This is also much more popular rankings. And if you see here, Python is having the top rank among all. So these were all figures given by the statistician bodies itself. So I just placed from them itself. And also, if some language is an open source, so no one just want to learn an open source language just because it's an open source. There are a lot of open source languages. But why Python means, if someone want to learn something, they will definitely get some doubts at some point of time. The moment you Google, you need to get some answer, or at least some relevant answer. So means that you need to have a lot of community support. See the support of Python community support. So we had very good community support. Third in this, so I have included Stack Overflow because it's the most commonly used community. And apart from that, there are other things like Superuser and other communities also. There also we can check. And the last main important thing is that everyone will learn something, not just because of pleasure, but also for earning livelihood. So you can see the Python jobs are increasing a lot. You can just Google Indeed or so Naukri or whichever country you are belonging to, and just go for Python. So you will get a lot of jobs these days. And these were all TIPCO index and other indices. So all these indices says that Python is trending right now, and this is the right time to learn. Be it any mode, everywhere, anywhere, from anyone, you need to learn. This is the best time. And coming to programming, just you have seen a bit of basic, right? Just two things. And coming to the case of Python, Python has two versions actually. This is the official site of Python, python.org. This is the official site of Python. So here, if you are working on Linux or Mac environment or Unix environment, the good news is that Python comes by default embedded. Means from the, if you just go to terminal and just type Python, you will go to Python. If you are in Windows, only then you need to install Python. And here Python, coming to this case, by default, on seeing that, you may think that Python 3.6 is the latest, so you want to work on it. But this is a small thing that in Python that everyone should know. Which version you need to learn. This is the one point they need to see. So now if you see the current market, only 20% to 25% of people are working on Python 3. The remaining 75% are working on Python 2.x. 2.x means 2.7 only. In those 25%, a majority of them are academicians, means researchers and so and so. It means that a majority of the industry is right now with 2.7. What is the reason for it, and why people are there, and which one you to learn? This is the very first questions you will ask. So for the people all I told the same thing. Now also I'm saying the same thing. See, there is a small syntactic difference between Python 2.x and 3.x. Means like for printing, exception handling, few modules. So some syntax changes are there between 2.x and 3.x. But Uday, which one I need to learn means the smart way is to learn Python 2.7. So such that you will be eligible for the complete market. Means everywhere you go for industry, people are using 2.x only. So if you are really keen about 3.x, so when I'm helping you to learn Python 2.x, Slowly I will tell you what are the differences between 2.x and 3.x. In this way you will be comfortable for both 2.x and 3.x also. Okay, this is a smart way to learn Python, both the things. But so why people are more into 2.x right now means, I told you, right? So Python heavily relies on the modules, so which were built in. Let's say someone is going for AWS cloud, there is something called as Boto 3. Someone is going for web development, there is called as Django. So like this, these are all modules. So these modules and frameworks were initially written in Python 2.x. So majority of the people wrote their code in 2.x. If they want to migrate to 3.x, they need to rewrite their code. Of course, there were some fixations for converting, but people don't want to take a risk. So that's the reason still people are with 2.7 itself. So as everyone is aspiring to go for a job right now, the smart way is to go for 2.x itself, because you have a plenty of material. So all modules are supported. Not all modules are supported in 3.x. You can't find all the modules of 2.x in 3.x. So it's best to go for 2.x itself. And Windows, a bit of installation will be done. So I will show you in the next class. So, but in Windows only we need to install it. So in Linux we need not install. So this is a bit of introduction behind it. And moving further, any questions before going further?
Sorry, this is Babu here. So actually, what I like to know is the advanced versions. It's supposed to have the compatibility. So why the Python is doing such a way that the syntax is different?
Yeah, good question, Babu. So the point here is that 2.7 was introduced, right? So when they are introduced, they have their own architecture. The base architecture of Python is there, right? So there were certain things which are making the language to work slowly in runtime. To speed up these things, they have introduced those new concepts, and it was intentionally done. So that's where the main problem is coming. So the design was so people have designed in such a way.
So that means in future that means you are saying that the advanced version have the good compatibility during the runtime. So the better way is to learn the 3 point. That means advanced version also is good for us. That's what you are trying to say.
No, man. So what I say is that there were small syntax changes. Small changes means, let's say, I can show you simply. Even if you don't have Python, also you can run with this environments. This is an open source environment, so where you can learn even if you don't have the language also. So install somewhere also. Let's say something like print. Let's say print hello world. It printed, right? So let's say the same thing in Python 3 I am doing. Okay. So print hello world. If I execute it, it throws an exception. What is saying? So missing parenthesis in call. So in Python 3, if you want to print something, you need to use the braces to print it. But again, the same print only, and the remaining things are same. So if you see execution of something, so number 1 equal to something, number 2 equal to something. If you execute them, if you summation of them, everything will be same. All the other comments are same. Small changes, I told you, right? Those small changes are also only there. It's no big difference, and you can learn it fastly. See, the same old commands we have, execute it, you will get something, right? The same commands, if you copy and you can execute them the other way, you can get here also. But the only point is you need to place a braces over the print. The moment you did, you got the answer, right? So these were the very small differences. It's no big difference. You can learn very fastly. That's why. So in order to not to get confused between all these syntaxes, so just go through 2.x. and in due course slowly I will introduce you all the differences. Down the line, after by the completion of your course, you will be able to work even in 3.x also. Okay,
Okay, got it.
got it?
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Python is available with various distributions. Apart from the basic Python from here, you can download Python from any other distributions like Anaconda Python. Anaconda is another distribution. So the name they have given as Anaconda. So it's taking lots. Yeah, this is Anaconda Python. They support in both basic version and also in the enterprise version also. So what's the difference between the Python which we get from this official site and this site is that they will add few more packages of their own. So they like this. There were other packages like these things like Python X comma Y. These were all distributions. So there were many distributions like this, very good distributions. So Canopy Python. So like this, there were very good distributions like this. Nthought Canopy, Python X comma Y. So like this, these were all people which are into Python distributions. So either you can go with these distributions or else the official distribution. I will stick to the official distribution. And if you want to learn something, I will just go for this thing. So pypy.org. So I will download anything. If you want to install any module, you can just go to the Google and just in your terminal itself, you can type it Python. Yes. So Python -m. So pip install any module. If you know, you can install that. Let's say NumPy is there, a module. If I just install that module, you can see that. So as the module is already installed, it is saying that it was already satisfied. So else it would install that module. If that module is not present, it will install it. So like that I generally will go. So this is briefly about this distributions and so and so. And if you want to work on any of the things like databases and so, or connecting to web services, or zipping anything, working with CSV, multiprocessing, multi-threading, so regular expressions, for all these things we have built-in modules. We need not even install anything before that itself. And if you are working on any sort of specific environments, like someone asked about web applications, Django, Flask, Twisted, Tornado, these are all important there. If you are into data visualizations, so and analytics, there are pandas, Pydo, matplotlib, and so and so. So like this, if you are interested in any specific things, you have those things individually. If you are interested in artificial intelligence, you have scikit-learn. It's the most good library, and also TensorFlow is there nowadays by Google. That's also interesting. So if you are interested in image processing, you have Pill. And if you are interested in animations, you have Mayavi. So you know Maya, right? So like for the Maya, we have PyMayavi. And if you are interested in data processing, you have this regular expressions. This is very good module. And if you see here, the top companies are all part of Python itself. They are all supporting in Python in one way or the other. So YouTube was written in Python. So some part of Mozilla is written in this thing. Even NASA is supporting Python by something called as AstroPy. Even for astronomical computations also we can use. So Red Hat is supporting Python. So the Yum package manager in Linux environment is written in Python itself. So Dropbox was written in Python itself. So Quora, Reddit, so these were all written in Python itself. So these were all part of the things. And if you see, there is a blog that I have written, World Made with Python. Just Google World Made with Python, that's it. You will navigate to this website, and you can see a lot of things which were done with Python itself, like BitTorrent. So if you see Dropbox, Deluge, all these things were written in Python itself. You can just go and scroll down and see all the interesting applications which were written in Python itself. These were all written in Python only. So whenever you have some free time, you can just go through it. Instagram, Pinterest, Discuss, Bitbucket, Mozilla. In some way or the other, so Python is getting contributions from many of the people. So in Facebook, the third most used language is Python. So in Google also, it's one of the good languages. Like that, you name a big company, so everyone is supporting. Even Microsoft is supporting Python. By so and lastly, so coming to the course structure, we will discuss about the course structure like this. So if you see here, so initially we will discuss about the language code structure. So next basics, then language components like what are the logical operations, Boolean operations, bitwise operations, and so and so. Then conditions. There is something called as a range. You will learn slowly about it. What is a range and so you will see. So next you have something called as lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, comprehensions. These were something called as a data structures which are specific to Python. So the next functions, there are a lot of variants of functions and higher order functions also I will help you. Next modules, how to use the existing modules, how to create your own existing modules. So time modules, these were all important modules I will show you. Next exception handling, how to handle exceptions. Next there is something called as generators and iterators. These were new data structures. So these have a lot of importance and advantage. You will slowly understand. So in memory in Python, when you want to handle with large data, this will be much more useful. So if you want to work with files, how to handle files, how to create a file, how to manipulate file. If you are doing some admin job, obviously you need to do get something from Excel and do something, or get something from CSV file and do something, execute something, or get all the ports or something else similarly. Or else if you are in a web development or any other things also you need to do. Next, you will know something about serialization, and hope everyone has heard about JSON these days, right? JSON and XML. So this is one sort of serialization technique. I will tell you what is serialization and how it is used. And next, debugging. So anyone knows. So if you have an IDE, you can debug everything easily. Even if you don't have an IDE, also you can debug in Python. So even a simple script also you can debug. I will show you how to debug that also. Next, simple socket handling. How to create a socket server, how to consume a socket server, so as a means socket client. And then about logging. What is logging? What's the difference between printing and logging? Why it is used in a real-time environment? And how the in real-time people will use logging. And then we will discuss object-oriented programming. No matter if you are new in Python also, you will learn it very fastly. So I have the experience. I learned many people, helped many people in learning Python. So they have learned a lot. And next big thing is regular expressions. So regular expression is called as a mini language. I have the world's best materials for the complete Python. I'll show you in due course. So for the after regular expressions, we'll say about decorators and unit testing, which are essential for basically. And then we will go for the real-time applications. One real-time these real-time projects we'll do means consuming web services. So consuming web services is almost essential in every field, be it your web application developer or else admin or else DevOps or anywhere. Everyone deserves web services consuming. We will I will show you real-time example how to consume a web service. How we will create one own application with all logins and everything. We will even send an emails and SMSs also. So it means everything. So we will do this. This is a real-time project, you can say. So all these things will be covered here itself. And moving ahead, so we have our own material. So I have created this material on my own. So so this is the material that I have created. So completely everything step by step you will learn slowly. So you can see that this material is totally 388 pages, and this is part one. So you have other things like regular expressions, other things. There is another part. Means I am almost trying to make a book out of it. Then you can imagine how good it is. So so we have the world's best material, dudes. So no problem. So just follow me blindly. Nowadays the main problem with Python is that so there was a lot of material out. So even if there is a lot of material or there is no material also, both the ways the beginner will get confused. If there is no material, people don't know how to start. If there is a lot of material also, people start downloading, that's it. They don't know where to start exactly. They will be confused. So that's why just follow my own material only. So you will understand why I am saying this thing down the line. So just we have the world's best material. I have all the assignments. After end of each class, I will show you. I will have the assignments we have, and we have tutorials. We have sample programs also. I will give you share you all the things, and then really you'll be confident to go for any interview and do any real time job. This is what my word is finally, and now the floor is open for questions.
Samir here.